Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are back in Zoom court with Judge Middleton and Samuel Purdue, aka Samir Siraj Mauro Bay. And if you remember from the last hearing, he was offered a very generous plea deal by prosecutor Deborah Davis, and he was given 2 weeks to respond to it, or it was going to trial, which was set for March 2020, I think. Well, those 2 weeks are up, and he's back in court, which can only mean he's decided to accept the deal. Let's get into the video.
All right, I've got everything turned on. We're going to have a civil case, but we're going to start with this one. We scheduled it on short notice for today. These are three matters in the matter of Siraj Mauro Bay, also known as Samuel R. Purdue. There's file number 202073, which alleges driving suspended second offense on September 17th of 20, and no proof of insurance. I think that's going to be dismissed. Driving suspended second offense in file 202653, alleged to have occurred on November 25th of 2020. And there's also a speeding ticket in that case. And file 21213 ST, January 31st, 2021, driving suspended first offense. Mr. Mauro Bay is here on his own behalf, as he has been every time. Deborah Davis is here on behalf of the plaintiff prosecution. And we'd had several discussions in this case. Ms. Davis made a plea offer, which was all-encompassing for all files. As I understand it, Ms. Davis, you've made a plea offer of allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code for all driving suspended charges in each three cases: 202073, 202653, and 21213 ST. You dismissed the no proof of insurance. Defendant would plead to speeding or admit to speeding. You don't plead 73 and a 55 on the 917 case and 73 and a 55 on the 1125 case. Those are civil infractions. It's my understanding the defendant would be pleading by no contest to all of these charges, and the court would proceed right to sentence.
I think we can all agree that that's a pretty generous plea deal. It would be a really dumb move for him not to accept it and move forward to trial.
So let's break that down, Mr. Mauro Bay. The two charges of driving suspended second offense are misdemeanors. They're punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. They carry 2 points and require that your license be suspended. The other driving suspended would be a first offense. No, they're all second offense. She's also going to dismiss the false license charge. The charge that's left on each of those is called allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. It's found under Michigan compiled laws 257.326. It is a misdemeanor, but it carries no points, and it doesn't get abstracted to your driver's license. Won't affect your ability to keep or maintain your driving privileges. The two speeding charges are not criminal offenses, they're civil infractions. You don't plead guilty to a civil infraction, you simply admit. Now, it's my understanding in your discussions with Ms. Davis that you've agreed to plead no contest to these charges. You and I discussed that briefly at the last pretrial. By pleading no contest, you don't admit the charge, but you also don't deny it, and you allow or accept that a conviction would enter. And I would take the factual basis off the face of the ticket. The punishment for allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code, it carries a fine of up to $100 plus costs, and it carries no points. and it doesn't go on your driving record. This would resolve all the pending charges you have in St. Joseph County, and we would not be having a jury trial in March of 2022. Do you understand?
Oh yeah, SovCits don't do the word understand. They think it means to stand under your authority. So let's see what he replaces that word with.
I definitely I comprehend.
All right, and you're appearing, I'm not sure how you wish to characterize it, under protest, but you are here and you've mostly appeared undirected. Are you going to enter no contest pleas to those 3 charges?
Yeah, me and Deborah definitely talked Friday, and I decided that as much as I don't want to, but I feel like in lieu of a fair trial, this is probably my best bet. So in lieu of a fair
You seem
trial,
like an intelligent man. You and I have had a number of conversations, and you're a man that knows his own mind. Let me ask you this: did anybody threaten you to try to get you to plead to these charges?
I mean, of course, I have no choice but to be here. I mean, no one's forcing me to accept the plea. Well, I'll say
Other than the plea agreement, did anyone promise you anything other than Miss Davis's promise that she will dismiss all these other charges?
Yeah, he was promised by the people who gave him the Kool-Aid to begin with that if he used the right incantations and magic words, then file affidavits and documents like the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, all this would go away. But he won't blame them for this failure. He'll blame the system, like they always do.
I mean, no one promised me anything, but I mean, obviously, if I don't show up for court, if I'm not here, obviously a warrant is sent out for my arrest, and
Yes.
And then I'll be locked up. So I'm definitely here under threat, duress, or coercion. But I decided to accept the plea deal,
right.
and lose a fair
Also-
trial. I'm not going to get a fair trial.
How can you say that you won't get a fair trial? This judge and prosecutor have been nothing but fair to you. What wouldn't be fair is picking and choosing a jury from the people with the same dumb beliefs as you.
I would like to think you could get a fair trial, but we haven't gotten to that point. There won't be a trial if you enter these pleas. Do you understand that?
Oh yes, definitely.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. You'd hire one, or I would appoint one. You would also have the right to represent yourself, and you've expressed that desire every time. If you had a trial, you'd have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you. You would also have the right to have any of the witnesses against you or for you called to testify, if I didn't already say that. And you'd have the right to be presumed innocent till the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, if they could.
In other words, a fair and balanced trial, which I would love to see, especially because you are representing yourself.
All right, well, let's talk about these one by one. The first incident occurred in September of 2020. Do you plead no contest to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code in that case?
Are you asking me?
Yes, are you pleading no contest to that charge?
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I guess I didn't realize I had to actually answer that. Under TDC, yes.
All right. So, and the ticket indicates, well, I'll go to the ticket here in a minute. Also, that you were speeding at least 73 miles an hour. I think it was like 84. And you admit, or at least no contest for the speeding charge.
Under threat, I do.
All right. And the next case, which was November 25th of 2020, had a driving suspended and false or forged license. They're going to dismiss that charge. And you're going to plead to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code also by no contest. You can plead no contest in that case as well, under the same terms and conditions. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, under threat, yes.
All right. And the speeding charge as well, same thing, you acknowledge 73 and a 55. Is that correct?
Only under threat, duress, or coercion, yes.
Okay.
I get that you enjoy feeling persecuted. It's kind of been your thing throughout these hearings. But just because you say you are under threat, duress, and coercion, did I say that right? Coercion. Or cohesion. Coercion. Cohesion. Coercion. It's coercion. Doesn't mean you are. You are free to take this to trial. Nobody has your arm up your back to plead no contest to these charges. That's why Judge Middleton has specifically asked you if anyone was forcing you into these decisions.
Then the last one is the January 31st of 21. Prosecutor is going to dismiss false or forged ops. And they're going to dismiss driving suspended first offense, and you'll plead no contest to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. Once again, under the same terms and conditions as the other two cases.
Oh, yes.
All right. All right, well, the good news is, other than the speeding tickets, none of these are going to show up as a driving suspended on your record. The bad news is there's separate incidents and each one will carry a fine. So let's do the first one first, September 17th. I'm going to do the normal fine and cost. You did spend 1 day in jail for failing to appear. I'm going to give you 1 day in jail credit, 1 day. I'm not ordering any additional jail time. You understand?
I definitely comprehend.
All right.
If you comprehend what the judge is saying, then you understand it. Your word games don't mean a thing.
I'm going to do a $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee. That's the normal fine for this, $200. The speeding charge, it's the same charge. One is 140 and the other is 205. I'm going to make them both 140. The speeding ticket by operation of our policy is due within 30 days. That will be due by January 31st. All right. The file 202653, the November 25th case. I'm going to do the same thing. 1 day jail credit, 1 day, $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee, $200. That's our normal fine. We're going to determine when those are due. We haven't done that yet. And you acknowledged that you were going 73 and a 55. That is 140. And that is due by January 31st, 2022. All right, and then the last one is the January 31st. Deborah, there's a speeding in that one also. Was that part of the deal, or was that?
I believe that we agreed to have just 2 of the speeding tickets.
Right. That one's going to be dismissed. And the no proof of insurance was also going to be dismissed. Same fine and cost, 21213 ST. no contest. 1 day jail credit, 1 day. $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee. $200. Mr. Morrow Bay, you owe 2 fines of $140 by January 31st. We've got to set up due dates for these 3 no contest misdemeanor pleas. I set these as a normal sentence. I didn't gouge you or add anything to it. I reduced the fine in one of the speeding tickets by about $65. And I am dismissing on prosecutor's consent the no proof of insurance, which is going to save you $215. Which leaves 3 no contest pleas to allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code. It won't go on your driving record. There's 3 fines of $200. There are 2 speeding tickets of 73 and a 45, which will go on your driving record. The total you owe is, I think, $880. 2 140s.
Oh, that's pretty expensive.
Yeah, it'd be even worse in Kalamazoo County. It's way cheaper than it would have been on the other stuff.
Breaking the law can be expensive, yes, but you choose to believe all this right to travel without a license crap. You are lucky that you have a decent judge and prosecutor, because I've seen way worse than this over the years.
So the 280 is due by January 31st. How long would it take you to pay the balance of 600? I can make these due once a month, like one due in February, one due in March, one due in April.
You want me to pay with you want me to quote unquote pay with Federal Reserve notes?
That would be sufficient. You can also pay by credit card if you use those. You can also pay by certified check or money order.
But according to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 10, only gold and silver is money.
But you can pay by gold and silver too. I had a guy once on a dog complaint that they paid by silver or gold. I'm sure when you go to the grocery store or the gas station, you don't pay by gold or silver.
Oh my god, I've been wanting a judge to tell a SovCit to go ahead and pay in gold and silver if you like, for years, because there's absolutely no comeback to it. Thank you, Judge, you just made my day. Poor Samir. That's not what he wanted to hear.
Now, we have your
Right,
address.
but,
I think it's still the Southwestnage address. Is that correct?
yeah, that you can use that as a mailing address.
All right. Now, this resolves all 3 of your cases. You and I have a fundamental disagreement on what the law is. You have a vision of what you think it should be, and I have another one. This is a way to resolve this matter without having to have 3 separate jury trials, which you would have been entitled to have. I'm going to make these $200 ones due by March 15th, 2020.
Your Honor, just for the record, if anybody were to hold this in the future, I just wanted to make note that, number one, we spoke on Thursday. The defendant had called me to make sure that he met the deadline that I had set. So I do appreciate his diligence with that. And we did have 2 fairly long conversations over the past couple of weeks discussing the options in the plea agreement. And he was very respectful, even though we definitely had disagreements about our interpretations of the law and constitutions. But I do appreciate that he was respectful when he was discussing these items with me. I would encourage him, though, to discontinue driving, especially in our jurisdiction, unless he is fully licensed to do so. Review of the police videos there was not the level of respect for the officers that he gave me. And I would encourage him to, in the event he is pulled over again, keeping in mind that these officers are just doing their job, just like we are doing our jobs. And I would, it was bordering on the line of resisting and obstructing, and the officers did their best to calm the situation down, even though these officers standing in the rain, knocking on the windows. So I just encourage the defendant to consider the other people involved when he's having these issues with the police. So with that, I am pleased that this is resolved and that we can all go on our ways. Thank you.
Well said, Deborah. Well said. I too hope that he learns from this, but in my experience, this will only strengthen his resolve, and he will somehow spin this lenient plea deal into a win. I mean, he already has that fake Moorish driver's license, even though it serves absolutely no purpose.
He's been very respectful to me of our last couple of hearings as well. We've managed to get along. I try to treat him with respect. He's been respectful to me. He is a thoughtful man. He had some thoughtful discussions with you, and he said it was in his best interest, although he didn't like it, to resolve these matters in this manner. And I've accepted his no contest pleas, and I've assessed fines. So 280 is due by January 31st. The others are due by March 15th. If you need more time, you can contact the court. I was going to give you the same advice. If you keep driving, please don't do it here. They can arm wrestle with you in Kalamazoo County all they want, but you're free to go on about your business. Mr. Morrow Bay, do you have any questions?
I do. Just I think just one. Now I know I was arrested a few times. I know one of the times I had to pay if I'm not mistaken, my girlfriend had to pay $500 for to bond me out. I believe that was the first time.
Well, let me see. Perhaps there is a cash bond in one of these. I looked earlier, but 22073 may have a cash bond in it. Let me look at that. It's good to have friends. Let's see what we got here. I'd be very happy if I had a $500 cash bond to apply to this. I do. There's a $500 cash bond in that case. So I'll apply $200 a bond in 2073, 0. $200 a bond in 2653, 0. And $100 a bond in 213 ST, and 100 in that. So that reduces your 880 to 380. I used the bond to pay off 2. Let me make sure there's not a bond in another one of these. That is 2073. You spent 2 days in jail on that one, 2 days credit 2. I looked for those bonds and all I saw was a surety bond. Let me make sure I don't have any more bond money in here. No, they're all sureties. So I've used the $500 of your bond to pay 2 of the misdemeanors off and apply $100 to the other misdemeanor. That leaves the 2 speeding tickets of $140 and $100 in the other case. Mr. Morrow Bay, that resolves all of your cases here in St. Joe County. It would make me happy, it would probably make you happy if you didn't come back here in 2022. I wish you the best. These matters are all resolved. I'm not ordering any additional jail time. You owe $100 plus 2 speeding tickets of $140 each. We'll send you that information to your address on West Niche in Kalamazoo. All right, sir,
Thank
you're
you.
free to go.
I appreciate it.
Your
All right, thank you.
And so ends the ballad of Samuel Perdue, aka Samir Siraj Mauro Bay. That was definitely a good deal he got from prosecutor Deborah Davis, and Judge Middleton definitely helped him out a lot at the end there. It's a far cry from how cocky and confident he was at the beginning of the year. I guess only the future will tell if he learnt his lesson here today. Anyway, what do you guys think? Were they too lenient, or was this a wake-up call for him? I'll be honest, I'm sceptical, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and let's end with that gold and silver clip.
You want me to pay with you want me to quote unquote pay with Federal Reserve notes?
That would be sufficient. You can also pay by credit card if you use those. You can also pay by certified check or money order.
But according to the Constitution, Article 1, Section 10, only gold and silver is money.
But you can pay by gold and silver too. I had a guy once on a dog complaint that they paid by silver or gold. I'm sure when you go to the grocery store or the gas station, you don't pay by gold or silver.